What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about self-talk, self-compassion and kindness, and basically how we can be our biggest cheerleaders and yeah, we can make the biggest difference in our own mental health. I'm back in front of my white wall. I was going to head outside, but it's 40 something degrees and it's just disgusting. So we're back here, I'm really sorry, but we'll get some different backgrounds soon. But let's kick off. So in terms of self-talk, this is what I was talking about in my first video in terms of when I looked in the mirror every day and I looked at my stomach and I would call myself everything that everyone had said to me at school. So I would say that I was fat, I would say I wasn't good enough, my acne was disgusting, etc, etc, and it made me feel bad and it started my day off on the wrong foot basically. So we need to ensure that the way we speak to ourselves is how we expect other people to speak to us. So you need to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and know that you are enough and that yeah, you can be confident in yourself and your body and your personality and the way that you are, because you are you, there's no one else that is you, and that's something to be proud of. So in terms of how we can implement that each day, I think the biggest thing is just knowing and believing in yourself and knowing that you are good enough. And I know that's easier said than done, and I think it is something that comes as you get a bit older as well. I know you're a lot more self-conscious, well I was at least a lot more self-conscious in the high school setting, but even when I came away to uni and I was still feeling that anxiety when I walked in a public situation, or if I went to a party that I didn't know a lot of people at, I felt a lot of pressure, I felt a lot of judgment, and I didn't feel good enough. And it's just come with practice and putting myself in awkward and uncomfortable situations and just allowing myself to be myself. So when I look in the mirror, I don't tell myself I'm fat. You just say, your body is so strong, you can do so much, you are so lucky that you have 2 legs and a heartbeat and you're able to do absolutely everything that you want. You're lucky that you can get up and go for a run in the morning, you're lucky that you can dance, you're lucky that you know, you can do all these amazing things and your body can do all these amazing things, and my body is amazing, and that is the foundation for everything else. It's just being grateful for what we have. Stopping comparison, again, that's really hard nowadays, and I think it's just from social media and magazines and from advertisements, and every single person that's on your favorite TV show or whatnot is this very fit, very beautiful person, and we can get caught up in that, but we need to acknowledge that we are who we are. We have our body types, everybody has a different body type, and there is no normal when it comes to healthy. Some people, their healthiest is when they're shredded. Other people is when, you know, they're a bit bigger but they're still, you know, smashing through and they can lift 3 times the weight as anybody else in the gym, or they can, you know, just walk their dog in the afternoon and that's what gives them joy and that's what brings them light. They can get around with their kids and that's an amazing aspect for them, and that's what they cherish their bodies for, and that's their healthy. And I think that if we can all figure out what lights us up and what we find is when we feel our strongest and most empowered and healthiest and best, then that should be our aim. It should never be in comparison to somebody else. So I went through, when I decided that, you know, I was trying to get over this ideal body and what I should look like, and people will accept me when I look like this. To get over that, I just unfollowed everyone. I only have Facebook, I don't have Instagram or anything else, but I unfollowed everyone who made me feel like I needed to compare myself. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, that's not that person's, you know, that's not their goal. They're putting their bodies and their opinions out to help other people as well. But we do I suppose respond better to some people than we do to others, and you just need to find people that light you up in terms of encouragement and motivation, and not the ones that try and or you feel like you have to compare and be something different to what you are. So getting rid of everybody that makes you think worse about yourself is a really good first step. Practicing kindness and compassion towards yourself, and this is just when you come home in the afternoon, knowing that whatever you did that day was the best you could do. And for me, this came a lot with uni assignments, or high school assignments, or my work, and just wanting to achieve a really high level all the time. And through uni, I was working multiple jobs, doing full-time uni, and which a lot of people do. I'm not saying that's abnormal, but it does put a lot of pressure on you, and you still want to achieve really great results and just be this continuous, goal achiever or whatnot. And for me, it was pulling back and not setting my sights in an unrealistic goal, I suppose, kind of reeling it in a bit, and just knowing that I was doing the best that I could, and not beating myself up if I didn't achieve, whatever it was, because at that point in my life, with the resources that I had on that particular day, I did the very best that I could. And I know that every single day I wake up and I do the best that I can that day. And so for me, that was something that I needed to just be kind to myself and just say, what you've done is good enough, and you should just be proud of what you've achieved and what you've done, because you have achieved something. You have put forward whatever you've put forward, and that's okay. So yeah, and then being compassionate towards yourself as well. So if you do have a crappy day, knowing that's all right, and if you haven't been able to put 100% into something because you haven't slept for 3 weeks, or you haven't had the time to do it because you've been trying to pay bills, or there's always other things that come into account, and there's just we just need to be really compassionate to ourselves and be kind. And I think that those two words have been something that have really been a pivotal point for me. If I started beating myself up, if I started getting anxious, I started getting angry with myself, taking a step back and going, are you being kind, and are you being compassionate? And really working through it that way. The last thing, and this is my number one golden rule when it comes to self-talk, above everything else, this is number one. Whatever you're saying to yourself, would you say that to your best friend? And would you mean it with the same intent that you were saying it? So it's not like you're going shopping with your friend and they put something on and you think it's ugly and you tell them so because whatever. It's, would you look your friend in the eye and tell them that their acne was a disgrace, that they were fat, and that they were unlovable, and mean it with malice and really poor intent, and mean to hurt them? And the answer 100% of the time is no. No one does that, and you shouldn't do that to yourself either. You really need to just be kind and compassionate, like I said before. I know I keep banging on about that, but it is that simple. And so again, whenever you're having trouble, whenever you can feel yourself going into that place and that you're beating yourself up, you need to ask yourself, would I say this to my best friend? Would I say this to my partner? Would I say this to my brother or my sister? And just look at it from that perspective, I suppose. I suppose the other thing is just allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel. I think often for me, I didn't like feeling sad, which is why I started blocking emotion when I was younger, and I didn't like feeling anger, so I'd go running, I'd try and do something to make it stop immediately. And I think that did more harm than good quite often, because I didn't allow myself to feel everything that I needed to feel. And when it comes to self-compassion, you need to do that. If you're feeling crummy, you need to feel crummy for a little while and then pick it up and go, all right, we're done, move on. If you're feeling lazy and lethargic and tired, then your body's trying to tell you something, and you need to appreciate that and respect that. So yeah, those are my big things. Be your biggest cheerleader. Always practice kindness and compassion. Let yourself feel what you need to feel, and number one, above all and everything, what you're saying to yourself, would you say it to somebody else that you care deeply about? But yeah, that's about it. I'll wrap it up. I'll try and get some new vlogs out pretty soon. I hope everyone's keeping well and keeping out of the heat. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to keep coming along with me and learning about this side of health. And yeah, I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.